This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself, me. Enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself, enjoy yourself, me.
Well, thanks to Dwayne for turning the mood around a little bit more positive with a great tune to inspire our next segment of the show. You're listening to Boomer Life on CL 650. And today we're talking about Opal by Element, exciting new aging in place. And Candy Ho has been on several times talking about the project that's just about to get started at Cambie in King Edward. You're the Director and Vice President, Marketing and Corporate Relations. A lot of titles there, but you're busy is what you are, right? Working every day for many hours, people coming by to see the do you have a display homes there as well?
A discovery center that is a display suite, and then the presentation where we walk through what the amenities are programmed with, where all the potential of activity is. And then we also have a seminar and focus group room where throughout the 2 years before we open, we want to engage the community and our purchasers and renters to come for investment seminars, financial planning, wellness classes, and help them think differently about retirement and all the possibility in front of them.
Now, the very first time we had you on the show, your dad was here. Right? Don Ho, who is the icon behind Element, and Miley, we want to talk a little bit about your dad because at 30 years old, you were named Vice President of HSBC Securities, one of the youngest investment advisors to be promoted to that firm-wide, so a major accomplishment at that age. But if it wasn't for your father, you wouldn't have gone down that road. So powerful father figures in your life. Candy's talked about her dad, so time to gloat a little, I guess, about your dad and what he did for you.
Sure, my dad's absolutely been an inspiration to me in my life and career. And early on, I think it was he who identified that perhaps instead of pursuing the path of medicine and neurosurgery that I was on, that I should consider a career in business of all things.
He knew your left brain, right brain better than you did, maybe?
I think so. I think so. My mother was also a tremendous impact in terms of the left brain, right brain side of things. And I think together, the two of them helped me really identify a career path that was really well suited to my natural skills. But my father had been in the business of investing for decades as well. And now I think he's celebrating his 47th year in the business. And so I'm so fortunate to work with him as a multi-generational father-daughter partnership.
Oh, so you were teamed up.
That's right.
Yeah,
just like me and my dad. We have so many parallels. That's how we met, in fact. That's right. That she found her story and was like, whoa, everything's aligned. And
Now, did you, I know a lot of times when you have these powerful figures that you need to branch out and do it on your own and show that you can do it on your own. So was that part of that trip to New York, was showing that you could do it and make it? If you could make it there, you could make it anywhere, as the song goes. Absolutely.
I think in our case, when I made the choice and accepted the offer to work in New York, my father would say that he thought his plan backfired. Oh,
because you were going to leave, right?
That's right. Yeah. And I actually initially had no plans to ever come back to Vancouver, but I'm very grateful for the opportunity to come back and build a family and foundation and business with my father here locally in Vancouver, where we serve multi-generational clients and help them achieve what I call a work optional life. It's basically a lifestyle where they have the freedom and flexibility to live to their highest purpose and potential without the financial restrictions of having to go to work every day. Instead, they have a investment pool or a portfolio of capital that they can use to generate cash flow to sustain their
lifestyle,
very active lifestyle. And it's particularly exciting because nowadays so many of our clients are enjoying a very active, robust, engaging lifestyle where
in retirement beyond.
They're in technically retirement, but it's the most exciting phase of their life so far.
You've actually got time to do the things you didn't have to do when you were raising kids and working every day, right?
That's right.
All right. So you have an endowment fund. Tell us about that. Or you work on an endowment fund at UBC?
That's right. So I was fortunate early in my career to have been selected to participate as a portfolio manager for an endowment fund for the University of British Columbia. And that endowment fund does support some of the resources for the university.
So they have a pool of capital that they put to work so that they can do things at the university that they want.
That's right. That's right. And every year there are graduates of the program, and we're fortunate now that there are graduates all around the world. And a lot of us stay very well connected and in touch. And it creates this global network of comrades, colleagues.
Do you still have connection with the fund? The UBC fund?
Yes, I do. You know, I'm actively volunteering, giving back time to either mentor students, mentor graduates, particularly helping young women who are looking to create a career in business, men and women. But oftentimes, you know, it's a very male-dominated industry. So I love to be able to provide either leadership or potentially introduce them to other role models in the industry.
Do you have a different sort of I won't say, I'll say kind of pitch or a discussion you have with the women versus men, because men have often more risk takers. Women are maybe a little, I'm generalizing here, maybe a little bit more conservative. Is there, because you're a woman and you're in the investment business, is there a different conversation with the different genders, do you find?
Well, oftentimes that conversation is different for everyone. I think we all have different emotional biases or experiences from the past. Earlier we were talking about some of the people we encounter who lived in the Depression era, and they naturally think they need to hold on very tightly to their money. In many cases, the women that I work with, they have, perhaps a conservative view on how they want their money to be invested. And yet sometimes when I meet with them, it's about identifying what their fears are around money and helping them see the bigger picture and outline a roadmap to help them make choices that put them in more control and give them greater peace of mind to actually have a stronger foundation financially. So, for example, I've worked with a woman who was in her 50s and she had been investing very conservatively, just term deposits and GICs, earning very low rates of interest. And her struggle or her dilemma was that she wasn't able to really generate enough income from that. And so what we helped her do was through a process of planning and working with her advisors and developing a roadmap, build an investment portfolio that generates more growth and sustainable income to help her live the lifestyle that she's always wanted. And it's doable. It takes a little bit of work to get there and also some proper, honest, intelligent leadership along the way. But I'm really pleased to say that she's, a very happy individual that's living a work optional life.
So it's greater than she had ever imagined before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess you have here the emotional fog of investing. And a lot of people, I think, don't even know where to start. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Or they're afraid and they don't feel comfortable, but they need to align themselves with somebody that they can trust. So what is your advice to people listening today about planning for their retirement so they can have the cash flow in order to afford to maybe live in a multi-generational complex and development like Opal by Element? So what's your advice to them if there's a fog around investing?
Well, there's a roadmap that we created called the Smart Risk Investing Roadmap. That's a simple roadmap consisting of 5 guideposts. We call them the 5 Ps.
The 5 Ps.
So the first P is purpose. Identify your why and what you really want to achieve with your money, and whether it's a legacy, whether it's funding your retirement, perhaps even bigger. And then working backwards to then figure out the steps to get there. So those next steps would be then to have the right people around you, the community, the right advisors around you that have the technical expertise, but also your best interest in mind. The plan, the third P, is both the right investment and financial plan to give you milestones on how to get there. Perspective. Oftentimes it's about thinking differently about risk. I love how Candy talks about thinking differently about retirement. Often people have preconceived notions about risk. They stray away from it. Some seek it and they make decisions that are too risky. Okay, so it's about shifting your perspective on risk and looking at how the ultra wealthy have actually made decisions along the way to stack the odds in their favor. And of course, the last one is positive action. It's actually putting the wheels in motion, taking steps every single day on how to make the right decisions about risk to stack the odds in your favor so you ultimately achieve your purpose.
Now, I'm going to flip this on its head. Candy, you could have all of these headings, the 5 Ps for Element by Opal. Purpose, right?
Absolutely.
A purpose for people to feel like they still have a purpose in their life.
Every day they can still contribute.
Right. People, having people around you, generations, right?
Yes.
A plan, and the plan is to have the care there if you ever need it, right?
Yes, think ahead instead of waiting until you can't anymore and then scrambling, because there's a stigma around senior homes, retirement homes, and that people just don't want to be perceived as old in an old folks home, and that's why the intergenerational model, that they're not living in a senior home at all.
And then perspective, you have a totally different perspective in what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's just unique from everywhere else, right?
That retirement is into a stage when you've stopped working, when you're not contributing anymore, when you are a burden to society, is completely untrue, because just like what Miley went through, all the life experiences that they've accumulated, they have so much to share, so much wisdom to pass on. It hurts me to think that they think they're a burden to society and cannot continue to contribute. So,
and then the last P is positive action, which is why we're here today.
Yes.
Is for people to take that
do
step,
something
right?
about it. Yeah.
That's good. So you can borrow these P's.
Yes.
From Miley. When do people typically come to a financial advisor? When they really, what age? I mean, the smart ones start early, but do you get people coming exasperated, don't know what to do at a certain milestone in life? Is there some sort of trend there where people feel like they don't know what to do and they turn to somebody like yourself?
First of all, I say it's never too early to start. I mean, we start with some of our clients' children or grandchildren to get them on the right framework and the right roadmap. The earlier you can start making good financial decisions, obviously the payoff is way better. But oftentimes in reality, it's either when people reach a milestone, say 10 to 15 years to retirement, and they start seeing this looming time, and they realize that they're either frustrated and tired with lack of results, or they feel exasperated, confused about what to do differently. And they need to make a change from their behavior or their emotional state, and they're looking for help. They're really looking for, I would say, an honest, intelligent process to help them continue navigating the twisty turns of the markets and the uncertainty of the environment, because that's life, right? There's always uncertainty out there, but our whole approach is all about having a very systematic process for making decisions using both the art and science of the information that we have out there, right? And being able to continually make good calculated risk decisions to stack the odds in your favor towards success.
So
I think what I like about Miley's approach too is that often I think people don't want to entrust their money with people that they don't feel a relationship with people that are kind of take a very numerical clinical distance kind of approach. Whereas I know Miley, like who she is, she cares about people so deeply. She listens to their stories. They understand everything about what drives them and what is important to them in their life.
So if you're a portfolio manager, are you what sort of level of clients do you take on? Or are you a wealth management division? How is it that you have different levels for people depending on what they have to invest, right?
Sure.
With inside Wood Gundy for sure.
Yes. So as a portfolio manager, we have a very high level of licensing. It allows us to work with clients who have sophisticated needs. They're typically busy, successful people who really care about having their money work for them in the most optimized fashion. They care about financial planning, tax savings, cash flow, really creating a way to make their legacy achievable and cascading their values across the generations. So, there's different levels of service that can be provided at different levels of the different wealth management companies. And, typically we're working with higher net worth investors, individuals and families who are looking to sustain their lifestyle beyond just their lives, creating a legacy for their families.
A lot of, I know, speaking with accountants, there's a lot of trust funds now that families set up as a tax, a way to get around some taxation issues. So you must have some trusts that you work with, right? Absolutely.
We work with endowment funds and charitable organizations as well. I think a lot of where the demographics are looking towards us, they're really seeking, as Candy said, a team of advisors or an advisor who can help them make decisions along the way so they feel confident in their ability to have the sustainable cash flow to live the lifestyle they want. Almost every day I meet with people who are looking for something like that. And, number one priority is maintaining their lifestyle. and being able to know that they have the sustainable cash flow to do so.
Maintaining or improving their lifestyle beyond what they would have imagined possible for themselves, because some people have limiting thoughts about what they're able to do.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Miley Wong, Vice President, Investment Advisor, Portfolio Manager with CIBC Wood Gundy, and Candy Ho is here from Opal by Element, and we're going to talk more about investing and retirement next on Boomer Life on CL 650.
Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.